What's up, Planet Roller Skaters? Indy here, and today's episode is 10 hacks for roller skaters. If you are new to the channel, my name is Indy Jamma Jones. Welcome to Planet Roller Skate. Be sure to subscribe because we have all kinds of awesome roller skate content, and this episode especially is going to be really exciting, but I have some more coming up that I think you will find very helpful. Alright, so 10 hacks for roller skaters. I woke up this morning and decided that I just wanted to share some tips and tricks because I've been skating for a long time now, and there's a lot of very common problems that all roller skaters have that I've found really fun little solutions to. So I figured, let's talk about some skater hacks that might save you a lot of trouble in the future. A lot of these hacks are going to revolve around how you carry or store things while you're skating, because when I'm out skating, the last thing that I want is a bag holding me down or a purse. So I try to carry as much on my body as possible so I can have a completely hands-free skate experience. There's nothing else like it. So my first tip is using your sock as a purse. Socks are great, especially like tall skater socks, for holding all kinds of things. I like to put my cash, my card, my keys, maybe even sometimes my cell phone if I got enough room. Yeah, it gets a little sweaty in there, but if I don't have pockets on my shorts, maybe I'm skating in a bathing suit, who knows? Then socks are a great place to keep some of those loose items. My next hack is for those of you that have stiff vinyl skates. The Moxie Beach Bunnies, the Jungles, the Panthers, a lot of the Candy Girl skates, probably the Impala skates, the Sure Grip Fames. A lot of very popular models are made out of this stiff synthetic vinyl. And sometimes it's so stiff that it rubs on your foot. For me, these tend to rub right here on the inside of my foot, and it hurts pretty bad. And then sometimes it rubs on the ball of my foot, and it can be pretty painful and cause blisters. So in order to help them shape to your foot, you can use a blow dryer. What I recommend is you actually put the boot on your foot, stand up so that your foot is like completely smushed down and your weight is in the boot, and then starting from a very low setting on the blow dryer, add some heat to the part that you want to mold to the shape of your foot. This will help loosen up and melt some of that synthetic material so that it can give your foot some room to breathe. So of course, be very careful when you're doing this. You don't want to turn the heat too high. I don't know if it's possible to melt the boots, but I would not be surprised. So just take your time and make sure that you're putting your weight into it so that it's actually like filling out the space that you need it to fill out. This next hack was taught to me by a skateboarder. I actually see skateboarders doing this a lot, but you do have to be very careful not to damage your skate. So, have you ever been at the skate park or rolling through the streets and your bearing gets all gritty and gross and you need to change out your bearing? All you gotta do is, well, of course, take off the nut, but then gently pull the wheel a little bit off so that the bearing that you're pulling out is hanging on the edge. And then you just turn the wheel to pry the bearing out, leave it on the axle, and then you do the next one. So I'm gonna put my wheel back on. Boop. Boop. And then my nut's still actually in my T-tool, so I'm just gonna put it right back on there. Ta-da! Alright, so now we are getting into one of my favorite hack categories, and that is things that you can do with laces. Because these are very, very multifunctional. A lace can do a lot of things. For example, I don't know about you, but I am definitely one of those people that is always losing things. My phone, my wallet, and also my 8th wheel. I have lost one wheel out of almost every set of wheels I have ever had. So my solution to losing wheels is to string them on a shoelace. This is super handy because you can just use your old laces. You don't need to buy anything new. So if I ever damage a lace and take it off of my skate, I will hold onto it for a while because they're good for all sorts of stuff. So what I do is, as I'm taking the wheels off of my skate, I will put them onto a shoelace to make sure I don't lose them. And then I can just leave the wheels, in a big bucket of skates, or leave them stored in a wheels bucket, and it keeps all of the same kind of wheel together, so I don't have to go digging through a huge pile. I can just find one, pull, and it's all attached to the lace. Not just that, but you're not going to lose a wheel and end up with only 7, like I do so often. Oh no! Alright, I have all 8 wheels strung onto the lace, so I will just tie this up, and then I can just toss it in my bin of skates or wherever it needs to go. All of the wheels are together and I'm not going to lose one. So this is one of my favorite hacks. Hold on to those old laces because we have more lace hacks coming up. This next hack has to do with the laces actually on your skate. Again, this comes back to the hands-free skate experience. Sometimes you're cruising around the neighborhood and you don't even want to hold the key to your front door. A lanyard like this is super handy, but I don't always want it swinging around. So what you can actually do is take your key ring off of wherever it is and put it on your lace. But there are also other things that you can carry on your lace that are super handy. So I like to keep a couple of nuts on my skate at all times because it just seems like every time I lose a nut, I don't have another one. Oh, they're skating over there. This is so cute. I love when kids in the neighborhood are skating. Oh, they're cute. They just waved at me. Okay, so I like to carry a couple of extra nuts on my lace. I will put them higher up a little bit so that I don't drag them on the ground if I fall, and then I'll also put them on the inside of my skate because that's the part of my boot that's less likely to drag. But it's really convenient and really handy to just have a couple extra nuts and maybe even a couple extra bearings, and those things can actually just string right onto your lace and stay on your skate and live there. So I will put it between the last 2 actual eyelets, not the hooked eyelets, but the one right below so that it doesn't fall off. And then I don't even have to worry about checking to make sure I have extra nuts because they just live right there on my skate. Came up with that one myself. Pretty proud of that. Something that is very common that happens to a lot of skaters is if you fall sometimes and drag your skate on the concrete or a rough surface, your lace can get cut pretty easy. So if you plan on skating all day or you're out adventuring, it's pretty important to make sure you have an extra set of laces. So if you don't want to carry them in a bag or something, you can always do the very classic skater move of wearing it as a belt. So what I do is I loop it like this so it's doubled over, wrap it around my waist, I will pull it through and then tie it like this. Having an extra lace around your waist is good not just for the sake of having an extra lace, but also because if you don't want to carry a bag, this is a great place to put your extra shoes. I like to carry sandals whenever I can so that when I take my skates off, my toes can breathe. But you could also do this with sneakers or almost any shoe that has something that you can loop a lace through. So I'm going to show you how I put my sandals on my lace. Oh, and you can also, if you have a fanny pack or a backpack, you can also just hook your shoes on the outside of the bag or hook your fanny pack through them. But I really like carrying my shoes or sandals on my waist so that they're not flapping around too much. I just keep them tight against my hip and they don't get in the way of my skating. This next hack is a bit of a fashion tip. I love wearing my knee pads, especially if I'm at the park or street skating, but sometimes I don't want bulky pads to be a part of my outfit, you know? So recently what I've been doing is I have been wearing low profile black pads, and then I wear black socks so that whenever I put them together, it just looks like I'm wearing high socks. Like, can you even tell? I've also seen people that actually get socks big enough to pull up over their pad, and I've even seen some girls sew their knee pads into their socks, which I think is really cute and cool. This is definitely an opportunity for some innovation. If somebody can make me some high socks with like detachable knee pads, or maybe some, I think people make pants with detachable knee pads, but I would love to see some high socks with pads that come in and out that look really good, that blends in as one. So hey, you roller skaters, somebody get on that. Send me a pair if you make them. Sometimes I also like to hide my knee pads under pants. So if you have the low profile knee pads, then you can fit them under lots and lots of pants. And my favorite pants to wear when I'm out skating are overalls, which segues me into my next hack. I mean, seeing a little booty crack, no big deal. If you want to rock it, rock it. If you want to, you know, get that whale tail going, represent. I love it. But if you prefer to keep that crack covered, high-waisted shorts are a great solution. But I really, really love overalls. Overalls to me are just such a nice solution to so many of my skating fashion issues, most of which tend to be my butt falling out of my pants. So when I wear overalls, I actually can keep everything covered. A lot of them are baggier so that I have room to move still. I can fit my knee pads under, and also they're great for another hack, which is wearing shorts under. So that is my next tip, is if you're gonna be skating all day and maybe it's hot or maybe it's cold and you just need to layer up, I like to have the protection of overalls. Like if I'm slipping and sliding on my butt, I like my legs protected sometimes so I don't get road rash. But even if you're in a cold environment, sometimes it gets too hot. So my next tip is to wear shorts under your overalls. Whenever I'm done skating, my favorite thing to do is just peel my pants right on off. You may have seen this in my episode about the things I wear to roller skate, and actually there are a lot of helpful fashion tips in that episode, so I will link it here. It's gonna pop out on that little sidebar thing. But wearing shorts under your skate pants and bringing sandals for after the session is the only way that I operate when I go to the parks or do beach skates anymore. I love just peeling off those layers, hanging out with my friends after a session and cooling off, you know, because definitely gets a little sweaty in there sometimes. That brings me to my 10th and final tip. Have you ever been roller skating down the street and your wheel just completely fell off? We call that a flat tire. Now, if this happens to you continuously, there is a trick that you should try that might save your life in the future. Because trust me, one of your wheels coming off is one of the most terrifying things you can experience. So what happens is sometimes the axle on the truck is not long enough to hold the nut all the way on. So what you have to do is flip your nut. This is a trick that a lot of seasoned skaters know, that I worry that a lot of newbies do not. So if your wheels are falling off, flip your nut, because there's a little piece of plastic on the inside right there that actually grips a bit better. So when you flip it, it'll hold it on tighter. I hope this saves some of y'all out there. I wish I had known this sooner. All right, y'all, I think that's all for the hacks for roller skaters. I actually have a lot more on the list that I made that I didn't include in this video. If I can help as many skaters as possible not make some of the same mistakes I have or end up in some of the same situations I have, then I'm gonna share that information. So if you've discovered an awesome roller skater hack, let us know in the comments below. Let's share the knowledge, y'all. And if you wanna see another episode like this, let me know, because we can share hacks like this for days. There's a lot more. Yeah. Be sure to subscribe for more roller skate content just like this. Again, my name is Indy Jamma Jones. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, later skaters.